So funny enough, there it was like 2 days ago. I saw it in my security news. Multi-stage malware phishing. Well, technically, the article is about them attackers using obfuscation techniques to do multi-stage malware phishing, and this is one that we actually do need to look at because this will be one of the ones my future blue teamers. You deal with phishing a lot, but like I say in these interviews, they always say, "Well, how do you keep up with latest attacks and current trends?" This is something that you would want to know about to where even if they hadn't seen it yet, you bringing it up in an interview would be very cool. Oh, no, that's not it. And after this, we probably talk about people now, like we've always said, they're using AI to construct malicious
Oh,
script.
I can't wait. I love that one. I love that one.
So let's share this tab.
I did a summary of this one too, the multi-stage one.
Yeah, I wanted to show you could talk about it, but I also want to show the graphics that they have for it pretty much. To actually show people like the breakdown of what happens in the actual attack. I thought that was pretty cool. But like I said, it's pretty much that they are using what's it called? SVG. Let's see, here you go. So in the latest campaign analyzed by the cybersecurity firm, the SVG file serves as a conduit to drop a zip archive that contains a batch script, likely created using Backcloak, which then unpacks the scrub crypt batch file to ultimately execute Venom Rat, but not before setting up persistence on the host, taking steps to bypass AMSI and ETW protections. Let me see if we can make this bigger. And let me see if I can zoom in on this. Okay. This should be, let me, if I'll take this away, that might be better for them. All right. So, guys, as we see, this is the email that's coming in. Oh, they can't see my mouse. Oh, well. And it's just giving you the layers of what really happened. So, of course, we have all this advanced technology that can stop a lot of these things, but this is still the number one thing. And I believe the person still has to click on this actual attachment for this to kind of, if it registers a click, for all this stuff to happen. So look at how advanced that this is to go through the links of it. And they are doing this by, I think I missed and like talked too much beforehand, but let me go back. The premise of this is invoice phishing.
Yep. Again. And that's obviously on the rise.
Yes, it's always. I mean, that's the biggest one when you're dealing with any company. They know they have many vendors, and so a lot of time attackers, the stupid play is to try to make noise in the environment fast. The smart play is, hey, let me get a small or mid-sized company. Let me compromise them, and let me see who their vendors are. Let me just look through their email list. I had was it a consultation or something? Somebody was talking about how they stopped a threat or something like that, where somebody's account was compromised, and the attacker decided to set up like I think all email coming in to an RSS feed, and it was automatically deleted. I don't know something, but it was something like small that you really wouldn't notice unless you was really paying attention to security events. But like all these different things, like if we clicked on Venom or Backcloak and all these different things, they would kind of tell you their origins. And so now people are just tying all these things together in order to really like get you like and put you on the hook. Because once they establish a persistence, then they can start doing what they got to do and say, we got your files, or what you gonna pay us.
Definitely.
I didn't want to like kind of read all of it. If you guys want to read all of it, I'll probably try to put all these links in the description because this is the stuff that kind of helps you understand it as a whole and understand what issues, because they're still like as good as the proof points are, they still mess up a lot and they require a lot.
Because it's not even just about having the tool, like it's about having the tool and knowing how to configure that tool. You can have any email security tool, what you can have anyone, but do you know about all the features? The features are there for a reason. Do you know about um, just the different the different capabilities of those tools and making sure that you have them configured correctly. Because, okay, let's think about it. I bought this tool 2 years ago. Well, when's the last time I looked at what new features have been made available with this tool?
Right.
Proofpoint or Exchange Online, however, whatever tool you're using
Right.
from an email perspective. But
Yeah.
that article is a lot. I wanted to quickly, very quickly, just explain what happened.
Mhm.
So it started with fake emails and they were pretending to be invoices. So those emails have files attached to them. And when those files are open, they're infecting the computer with the bad software. And so the bad actors are using two tools to try to hide their software and also at the same time make it hard for any antivirus detection programs to be able to detect their malicious software. So one of those tools is Backcloak. So Backcloak is just there to help them load their software secretly. And then they have Scrub Crypt, which is used to hide their software's code. So when someone clicks on that file in the email, it sets off a chain of events. So the first one is it opens that hidden file that contains the software, and that software is that Venom rat, excuse me. And
Mhm.
so that lets the bad actors basically take control of the computer. And once they have control, then they can steal any information, execute any commands that they need. But it also lets them spread more malware. So then you have the other ones you see there. So the X-Worm, the Rimcoast, so on. Um, but basically, they're using a number of tools that are helping them hide their identity and basically trying to remain persistent like you were saying on the system. They're trying to hide themselves in more than one way, and that's why they're using that's why they're using multiple tools in this type of um, attack in this scenario. But this one was a bit more complex, so I just wanted to give a quick breakdown on what happened.
And all obfuscate means is to render obscure, unclear, or unintelligible. And so a lot of times that comes through with them using different techniques, so you don't really know what it is. Plain and
Yep.
simple. So well, on this end, their way of doing obfuscation was starting it with the attachment that's a SVG file, which is scalable vector graphics. So in this sense, it's pretty much steganography in a sense, because it's an image and they're hiding malicious code in the image. Yeah, you wouldn't know. Well, you would know if
That's
you see
so
the
cool too. I did that in class and that is just a completely different ball game. You would be amazed at what you can do.
yeah. I think though people have to pay attention. There are a lot of now if it's sophisticated enough to where they compromise the person that's supposedly sending the invoice. So you just really got to pay attention to the verbiage, the picture, the signature. Like you'll be surprised. A lot of times, a person's signature gives off that person in that environment or not. That's why a lot of companies want employees to have certain signatures so we recognize it's you. Because if you get compromised and you don't have the right signature, then we say, what's going on with your signature? No, normally it might say sent from iPhone or whatever, but if it's something different, like it's supposed to be like this on your phone and everything else. But they use obfuscation to get in their steganography, and we see this a lot. Like people, they're always reporting fish. Sometimes it's just spam, and so there are like different tools. Like I said, like you have like the proof points or like the co-fences. I forgot what the other one we should use. And so they kind of act as a buffer. Like if you hit the report fish stuff, it goes there and you can check it out. Of course, Microsoft has Threat Explorer, Purview, and some other stuff. And you can kind of interact with the attachment there or take it to a sandbox and kind of
Oh yeah.
see
Yep.
what happens. So that's the best thing I would say. If you're not familiar with the sender, and another big key too. So you were talking about proof point and you were talking about having it configured correctly. Because the attackers have a lot of time, so they're developing different ways to kind of get this stuff out here. So for one, you want to make sure, hey, pay attention to the subject. If it says external, that's always something to pay attention to. Pay attention to the domain. Make sure the domain is of maybe a vendor or something that you guys actually deal with, and it's not a typo squat domain where it looks like it, but it's not the right one. You definitely got to pay
Yep.
attention to the domain. Also, you can implement, hey, you haven't really messaged the sender before. So if it's a vendor you always do business with, but it says, hey, you hadn't interacted with them before, that's a red flag. Those are like three simple things you can kind of look at to be sure of if this is could possibly be malicious or not. But
Yeah, and those are all features too, like of a product that you have to turn on. So having it, you buying Proofpoint is not enough if you don't turn on the features that'll help you. And most of the features for phishing are targeted around the users and giving them those notifications like you said. One, it's someone external. Two, this is someone you haven't communicated with before, and I forgot what the other one you said was, but all of those are features of that product. And as the bad actors are getting smarter, companies are getting smarter and designing solutions to circumvent them. But if you're not keeping up with the product that you bought, then how would you know about those added features that you could turn on?
right, but honestly, I don't really just put it strictly on the features because the features could be on, but at the end of the day, the end user is the biggest threat to your
Yeah,
the end
end
user.
user education, phishing
Yes,
attack simulations. How often are you doing them? What is included with them? Are you only teaching them how to report? Because then you could be overloading your, your help desk, whoever's receiving those tickets. Are you also teaching them about lookalike domain name spoofing? Are you teaching them about other items as it pertains
right.
to being spoofed?